Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hello. Today I'm doing a super simple envelope that is held together with just an origami fold, so you don't even need to glue it. Now I have glued it here just to make it permanent, however it's not necessary. So first I'm just finding the middle, and then you fold the corners into the middle. So there's the first one, and then I worked out that I wanted that sort of more speckledy, pretty side on the outside. There's another one. And then you fold in the third, and when you fold the fourth, that's where the origami fold comes in. So I'm folding down this bit, and that's going to be the top flap. There we go. That bit, and that's going to be the top flap that actually sits in, and then I do the bottom, and it's wonderful. So you fold it so the corner meets underneath that top fold, and you fold it straight, so you use the straight edges on the side there to make sure that you've got it right. This is so easy. Always takes me a little while to remember how to fold the top corner, but this bit's easy. Then you fold in one side. See how it meets across that fold? And you fold it in. So you get that nice and straight. And that's how you get the measure of how much to fold it in. And then you do the same on the other side. And then comes the magic of how it holds itself together. Any second. Wait for it. So you're just aligning across that fold on the bottom and getting the other edge straight against the edge. So that's how you get that right. All right, so now you've got both of them, and then the bottom corner is folded into the bottom fold. And again, you want to make that nice and straight. So if you've got that centre line, that's easy to align it up to. Now, I find that if you fold in the sides, so I find if you fold that down and then you fold your sides in, then it's easy to flip it like this. So it just sort of flips itself against the folds, and you make that edge nice and straight. And that, my friends, is what makes the little holder. So that just flaps, that little flap then just goes inside those two folded edges, and that holds really, really well. You'd be surprised. Quite wonderful. Now the cool thing is, because you don't have to glue it, you can leave it at this point, and then all you have to do, and then rather it can be like an old-fashioned lettergram, that it can just undo itself if you want to have some writing or a note page on the inside of that, and then you just fold it back together. But I decided that I did want this to be permanent, so I just popped a little bit of glue, and again, it's an easier one to glue if you do decide to glue it. You know, I didn't have to really muck about with anything there. I just glued those two pieces, and that was more than enough to hold it. You could just have the tiniest bit of glue to make it a more permanent envelope. So there you go. Now I just thought I'd decorate it up, and then I've got something that I can just slip into a journal and use inside one of my pockets, or, you know, anything like that. So I had this lovely blue bird that was in a similar colour, and just a bit of cheesecloth. I do love putting cheesecloth on everything at the moment. I used a little piece of scrap paper to just put a border around the front of the envelope. So I did this just by smudging some ink around the edge with a blending tool. Now, if you don't have a blending tool, you can actually even just use a sponge, or you can use a tissue even. I've done that before when I haven't been able to find my blending tools. But there you go. So that's a nice, easy way to just create a bit of a smoky kind of border. Just gives it a little bit of a, look on the front. And I could have just left it at that, but I don't know, I just wanted to sort of pretty it up and make it a little something, So I went, yep, that works. That little birdie is just from a digital kit that I had. Now, I decided that I would just define the edge a little bit more, so I've just gone around it there. The paper that I'm using, by the way, this was, I believe it was not coffee dyed paper, it was just a normal printer sheet, and I just splattered it with some ink that I had, and I'm pretty sure that's all I did to it. And yeah, it's come out quite pretty, really. So I think that was a turquoisey sort of colour. So I just splattered it by, using a toothbrush in a little bit of watered down ink that I made up. So I just did some ink drops onto a little piece of Perspex or into a little bowl, I think it was. And then I just dipped a paintbrush in and I watered it all down, and it worked, amazingly well. But anywho, it's a nice quick way just to, do up your pages if you want to take away that stark whiteness. So here I just inked around the edges. Of course, I should have inked all that before I did it, but before I glued it down, but I didn't, so that's fine, all fine. Anyhow, that's all the inking. Gosh, it's like watching paint dry, watching people ink sometimes, isn't it? And now comes the little decoration part. So the back is really pretty as it is, I think. And then, as I said, all I'm doing is just this bird and the cheesecloth. So I did use, this is just my standard craft glue, my little PVA glue. And I'm just running it around and trying to get, into the nice edges of those birdie wings. And then I put it down, completely forgot that I had the cheesecloth in my hand and completely forgot to put it under. I do that sort of thing all the time, best laid plans. And then I looked at it and I went, oh, that looks nice. Oh, but hang on, I do think I want a bit more. And I think the cheesecloth is just nice as something, it's like a little mini cluster, but it's nice as something between those just two different blue shades. It makes it work better in my head. So then I've gone back to having to glue it again. Lucky I pulled it up before it had completely permanently gone down. But I'd say this actually was an easier way to glue the cheesecloth in. It wasn't. I'm just making it up. Trying to make excuses. Oh dear. But yeah, the little bit of cheesecloth was just something that I soaked in coffee and rinsed out. So that's really quite cute. I love how they look worn. Cheesecloth is just one of my favourite little embellishments. It's something I use so much. I use it all the time. I love using material in my work when I'm doing journaling and things like that. It's fun in collages and stuff as well. So there you go. It just adds a little bit of rusticness, just a little bit of interest. And, you wouldn't know that was a nice, pristine, beautiful new piece of cheesecloth once, would you? So then I felt like it just needed a little final touch. So as the final touch, I decided I would stamp spring with these really cute little wooden stamps that I have. And then I made a mistake. So instead of grabbing the N, I grabbed the dots. But luckily, I managed to get the N almost exactly over the top. And, it adds a little something, a little bit more of a handmade touch, a little bit more of a handmade feel. Almost looks like I meant to do it. So then that was all finished. I just decided I'd use the little full stop to add some little dots, and then I quite liked that on the border, so I added a few more all the way around, as you'll see. So dot, 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 dot. I'm going dotty. Dot, 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 dot. Going very dotty here. But, it just adds a little bit of something towards the end. So I hope you enjoyed this super, super simple origami fold envelope. Remember, you do not need to glue it. It holds really nicely. So that's how it looks, even pretty on the inside. And it's a lovely little piece. to enjoy. And yeah, here I just had another little DigiKit piece that I'd printed out, and I printed it onto graph paper. So I thought that would be really cute in the envelope. And I love folding them not straight, just a little bit wonky, because I just think that looks really nice poking up out of the envelope like so. So there you go. Now I have a piece of ephemera that I can pop into a journal, and someone can even use the note page to write a little note or to send a letter to a friend. So simple, so easy, and I'll be doing more of these. Take care, everyone. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!